Welcome back to the Project Management Fundamentals. In this module, we will start with the first knowledge area of project management, which is the Project Integration Management. And like we said, it's the first knowledge area of the project management framework that helps you in sustaining the stability of the project. In other words, this is the area that really touches or cuts across all the phases or life cycle of project management. And integration brings everything together, and that's why the word integration is used. And this will contain a number of processes, which is developing the project charter. This falls more in the initiation phase. Developing the project management plan, which falls in the planning phase. Direct and manage project work, which is in the execution phase, and so on and so forth, to managing project knowledge, monitoring and controlling your project work. For example, perform integrated change control when you're doing monitoring and control, and then closing the project. And in all that as well, it simply means while you do that, you have to be sure that you're also doing scope management, time management, cost management, resource management. Basically, you're dealing or managing or overlooking at the other knowledge areas. So this is why it is so important. And that's why also with project managers, there are different roles. There are people who are into risk management, and there are people who are into scope management or time management, or a combination. And there are people who are actually working as a project integration manager, who looks at everything around and puts them together and makes sure that it works. And even as a project manager and you're managing a project, you might need to use all of them, but also know how to integrate that all. For example, if you're designing a system with a number of modules, that those modules can come together to form the system in the appropriate way when you go through all the life cycle, the initiation to the closing for that project. So when you look at the project integration management, there are a number of activities or things you need to consider. For example, develop the project charter, which we talked a little bit about, and which also needs some input, some tools and output, and that we already discussed a little bit earlier in one of the videos. Most important to know is that this knowledge area uses a number of processes that enables you to get to the end of what you want. But at the end, each process also has its own input, tools, and output. So when you're able to develop the project charter, you also need to develop the management plan also, that takes some input, uses some tools and techniques, and gets an output. And as well as the direct and manage project execution, which is another activity step, and then or process step, as well as monitor and control your project work and perform integrated change control when you have change requests, and managing them, controlling them, that they end up in the right place and get the right approval, and then closing the project. So these are all integral activities or processes that you need to use applying these knowledge areas, and that helps you to fully integrate your overall project into getting something more successful. So generally, this is what project integration means, and depending on the project you're dealing with, you would have to come up for each step that you want to do with developing the charter, making the plan, directing the work, monitoring it, handling issues and risk, and making sure that everything connects together and what affects which one. And that's in that way you can figure out if you are going to be successful. Thank you for listening to this, and I'll see you in the next video.